It's episode 2 of this session. If you missed episode 1, it's not hard to watch it. Find your way to the Poker Guys channel. It's poker time.
Well said, well done.
Thank you.
Everything was perfect.
So far, what's happened in this episode, or this last session, I can just give you a little recap. Zach limped every hand he played.
Yep.
VPIP Joe became Ski Lift Joe because he's not playing nearly as many hands.
Which doesn't make any sense, but that's fine.
We decided to start naming every hand that everyone played, so we're going to have to get on that pretty quickly. Wheel is throwing the party so far. He's down the most by a fair amount, over a buy-in, or about a buy-in, and that's the big story so far, yeah?
Sounds about right.
All right. Zach with the ace-10 off. Of course, going to call that raise from Sam's.
Sam has been isolating Zach when Zach limps recently.
Yep. Zach limps with real hands mostly. Sam's probably just going to get to win.
He has a gut shot, too.
Yep, and a diamond. But
Oh,
Zach bets. Now, last time Zach donked, Zach had top pair, really good kicker with ace-queen, and Sam just folded middle pair correctly. There's also a three-handed pot. It's a little different.
This time Sam has a diamond and a gut shot. He might decide to raise.
I think raising is fine, and he's going to call. That's fine, too. That's what I was going to say.
He's
I
going to kind
think
of
floating is fine,
rep an
too.
overpair, sort of.
He gets to see what Zach does on the turn.
That's kind of a bad card for Sam.
Yep.
He makes a diamond draw.
He gets more draws. Actually, his equity goes up, right?
Yeah, but
That's the good news.
His equity, if they go to showdown, goes up.
Yes.
But his equity of actually winning the hand goes down.
Well, he has no bluff equity on the turn is really what it is, right? But his actual equity goes up in the hand. Zach, of course, never folding here. He hits the ace. Never.
And he
In fact,
raises.
he check raises Sam. Now Sam's just going to have to fold.
All right, so this check raise is bad, in my opinion.
Okay, I don't think we should assign moral values to these things.
Okay, it's like a bad person, and what a bad person.
Okay, why don't, instead of saying it's bad, why don't
Okay.
you say why you don't like it?
I don't like it because I don't think it accomplishes anything that you want to accomplish. You're going to fold out all of Sam's bluffs, of course, which is what happens here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get called by all of the better hands. Maybe once in a while Sam has the ace-8 and decides to call, but that's a rarity. So you're basically in game theory disaster mode where you're getting called by all better hands and folding out all worse hands. Suppose you're charging the draws a little bit.
He did fold out a diamond, so he did fold out real equity against him. Sam actually had a combo draw against him. He got to successfully fold it out, but normally it's not going to go exactly that way. So I'm kind of with you. If Sam has ace-jack, I don't think he's folding.
Right.
And Sam can have two diamonds, and Sam can have other things that just beat you. So I agree with you, but he did fold out a combo draw, which is kind of a best case scenario with that check raise.
It's not. Yeah,
That's a best case scenario.
That's a pretty good result.
He got the bet and the fold on the turn. He got $135 out of him. Joseph with the snowmen, because we didn't name anything last time, but we're going to start right now.
Those are the two infinities side by side.
Yes, double infinity, which you think is
Parallel
impossible.
universes.
Nope.
Yep, that's the name of 2/8 from now on. Parallel universes.
That's terrible. It's already called snowman. Jeremy with the A6 of hearts. We all know what that's called. Grant, why don't you tell him?
That's the Gopher's Delight.
Gopher's Delight. Jeremy with the best hand.
And that's why it's called Gopher's Delight, because the gopher flops top pair with it.
He's the groundhog, but sure.
Whatever.
Close enough.
He's a G animal.
Checks through on the flop. Jeremy checks again. I don't hate this check at all. Big aces could have really checked that flop. He gets to bluff catch a little bit, but no one takes a shot.
Jeremy should probably just try to get a little bit of value at this point.
I think it's time to bet.
Although it's really hard to get value still.
A hand like two tens might have checked twice here. Joseph can have two tens.
Yeah, but he's got wheel behind him too.
Yep, I'm not saying he's going to call. I'm just saying it's time to try and get
And he's
value.
got 2/8, which
and
is
he gets the call.
It's basically the same thing as 2 10s. So
pretty much. And Joseph gets the bad news.
although
Gopher's Delight wins again.
Joseph did do the one chip hero call, which usually makes me think like, oh, that player thinks they're winning a fair amount because they're not putting in the actual amount. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I don't think that's always why people do it. You just do it for speed. If you have a chip in your hand, you just throw it in. Also, it looks so much cooler.
I was kind of saying like, I don't think I'm going to have to put the rest of this bet in.
I understand that. Look at Joseph. Looks pretty annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's so upset about.
I think he's upset with himself for calling.
Oh, that makes sense. He's like, Gopher's Delight gets you again.
Yeah.
Every time it's Gopher's Delight.
Yeah.
What is, by the way, a Gopher's Delight? Is it like a really beautiful like 2x4 that can just chomp on into or something.
Are you thinking about a beaver?
Yep, I sure am. What is a gopher?
Gophers burrow.
Oh, sure they do. Like a mole.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, was it gophers in Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Aha. That gopher had a lot of personality.
Sure did.
Joe with the 6'4" suited, also known as shoelace.
What?
Because you do your shoelaces from 6 to 4.
What are you talking about?
It's an English thing.
Like British or like English language?
No, British. The Brits know what I'm talking about. Tag your tweets. Hashtag shoelace 6 to 4.
I don't think they should tag that tweet.
Anyway, here we go. We got the Joseph raising for value, and Jeremy, is he going to fold 6-3 suited? Wow.
He is in the worst position.
He is.
And it's $50 more.
Yep, it's a little pricey. That's true. Jeremy, nitty by nature.
Sweet.
Well, a little something for everyone. Joe with bottom, basically, and Joseph with the royal draw. And by royal draw, I just mean it would be royally nice to make Broadway.
It would be.
I think I'm just going to start calling everything a royal draw because it sounds so much cooler.
It sounds better.
Oh, the royal comes right in. Royal flush for Joseph, everybody.
Okay. You're going to confuse some people.
Yep.
That's just as straight.
It's going to be much harder to get that WSOP commentating job when I miscall the hands and the values. But
you did have the nuts. It's unfortunate for him that Joe didn't have anything he could continue with. A lot of the time, Joe's going to make 2 pair or a pair and a straight draw with that card.
That queen is a great card, not just because he makes the nuts, like you're saying. Yeah, there's a lot of good things that can happen there. If Joe was floating with like a jack 9, guess what? He has the second nuts too. I mean, but queen 10, king queen, queen jack.
Yeah, all those hands.
Jeremy the big winner, Wheel the big loser. Everyone else just sort of passing chips around and like they're passing a blunt.
Totally. It is Oregon.
It is Oregon. It's legal. They legalized it.
In 2014. It's not news.
It's news to the listeners and the viewers.
There's 14 states where it's legal. It's probably not news to them.
Guess what? Not everyone watching on YouTube is from the United States of America, you pervert.
Why would you call me a pervert?
I just felt like it.
Sam
once again raising the limpers, but he has a real hand to do it with this time.
He does. And Joe has, we saw in the first episode that it seemed like VPIP Joe had gone away a bit because maybe he was trying to play a little bit more standard ranges, but now he's decided it's back to VPIP Joe.
Well, no one can really keep their plans never last that long, I've noticed in cash game poker.
Yeah.
In tournaments, maybe, because the circumstances change. Cash games are all the same, so who you are comes out. In cash game poker eventually.
And VPIP Joe is VPIP Joe.
Exactly. He can't be ski lift Joe forever. He doesn't need help to get to the top. He can climb that mountain of VPIP all by himself.
Yes, he can.
VPIP, of course, is voluntary, putting chips in play.
And we call him VPIP Joe because he, of course, has the all-time record. I think it was around 74%.
I think it was 72, but yes.
For a full poker time session, he played that many hands, 72%.
4 hours of play, 72% of hands. We've really never seen anything like it. We've seen a lot of high VPIPs, but that is its own thing. He's a happy guy, VPIP Joe.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. That's good.
Oh, no, because we're fine.
He's playing cards. This is a hand that you should definitely VPIP.
I'm excited for him to start calling himself VPIP Joe. That could happen.
It could happen.
34.
$34.
40.
He can't be the first guy who's been nicknamed VPIP X in poker.
No.
Somebody else has been named
But I've never heard it, so. So Stuart deciding whether to call or to raise. I like the call.
Yeah, Joe limps a lot, so you'd expect when he raises under the gun, he's probably got something reasonable.
Yep.
Which he does.
Samantha has failed us for the first time.
Yeah, Samantha got through the whole last episode as our best intern ever.
Yeah, non-fired intern.
Didn't mess
way to
up
go.
except at the very end when she made me misspeak. But up until then, she was great. This time, it was only a minor mistake.
Yeah. Joe with the jack in the box, of course. That's the name of that hand. Jack 10 suited, jack in a box.
Okay,
pretty
and that's
good.
a great flop for Zach and nobody else.
Stuart's got overs and a gutter.
Yeah, don't pretend that's a great flop.
It's an okay flop. Though.
Yeah, I said it's a great flop
could
for
bet
Zach
this.
and nobody else.
He could bet this.
He could, and
Let's
I think
see
he
if he
probably
does.
will and should.
Yeah.
Stuart's really thinking it through and does not, interestingly enough. And
Still
whole
has
lot
the
of
best
nothing.
hand. He might think he has the best hand if it checks to him again.
Zach, it's time to bet.
I'm surprised Zach didn't bet the turn.
You're in the big blind. That board is all you. Plus, you've got all the equity.
All right,
theory.
so Joe's betting now, which is fine.
Yeah.
He's mostly just repping a big ace, though, because you would expect he would have bet an overpair on the flop a lot of the time.
Most of the time.
So he's saying, I'm protecting my equity with ace-king.
Stuart probably shouldn't be folding, I think, for $80 on this board against Joe specifically.
Not after Joe checked the flop.
And Stuart looks like he agrees.
And Zach checked twice, so you wouldn't expect Zach to have any of it.
Will Zach check raise here? This is a great time to check raise when the deuce pairs and he's in the big blind and he's got all this equity.
My good friend would say it's a pristine time to check raise.
Yes, your good friend, William Reynolds. He does not check raise, though, and we are going to the river. That is just a brickety-brick, except for Joe. Jack in the box. The box this time comes out of the jack, and it's top pair.
He has a 10. And
So we can't see anything, but people are making actions of some sort.
There's the board. And
look at down there. It's all.
It's a 10.
Yeah.
It looks like it checked to Stuart here.
Will Stuart take a shot? I like this check by Joe. Stuart doesn't. Stuart thinks he's going to win, and he gets the bad news. Oh, Stuart. If only you had bet the flop, Stuart.
Oh, Stuart.
Stuart, you would have won the hand, Stuart.
Or the turn, maybe.
Well, he would have had to raise the turn because Joe bet the turn.
Right. If you raise the turn, maybe.
Well, Zach's going to call, and then Stuart's going to win anyway, yeah.
I don't think Zach's going to call.
I don't know what Zach's going to do. I don't claim to know what everyone's going to do. Also, Zach had the king-queen suited, or as we like to call it, go ahead and tell him, Grant.
The cheese head.
The cheese head, that's right.
Very popular hand in Green Bay.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not just king-queen suited, it's king-queen of hearts, of course. That's the cheese head. Because they love cheese in Wisconsin. That's why it's king-queen of hearts.
Because of all the heart disease from cheese.
That's why, the king queen, they have the big heart, but then they've got little hearts in the two corners. So because you need extra hearts because you kill yourself.
with all the cheese.
Yeah, clogging those arteries.
we can have that agreement. That's fine.
Fold.
Joseph.
There's no way you're ever going to fold on that round.
This one's got a name.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Yes, it does. That's right. You know why it's called the Dolly Parton? Because I know.
Yeah, because she sings.
That is not correct.
And it's like 9-5.
That's actually almost it, but not it.
I know, 9 to 5.
And what is that?
It's her song.
But why is it her song?
Because she sang it. I don't know.
It's a movie. It's like the one movie she's ever starred in.
Yeah, and it was a song.
And it was also a song. It was a big hit. It was a comedy way back in the day, starring her, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda.
That's wonderful.
And Dabney Coleman, by the way.
Love the trivia. Joseph flops best with the 5.
It was a big comedic hit.
Proud of you for knowing all of that.
I even knew Dabney Coleman was in it. That's strong stuff.
Is it? Or
it was a woman workplace empowerment movie, but also very funny. At least for 1984 or something like that, whatever year it was.
Yeah, comedy has really come a long way.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you watch Three Stooges right now, you think that stuff's funny? Just guys getting hit in the dick.
I don't know. Little kids probably still think that's funny.
I guess they were basically just guys getting hit in the dick.
Yeah, and hit in the head with ladders.
Which is funny. It's pretty funny.
There's a lot of slapstick that goes over very well. I'm not sure why, but
I guess they didn't tell some of you guys the lowest VPIP.
People getting hurt is for some reason funny.
Right. But now we have YouTube for that, just all the fail videos.
People getting genuinely hurt.
Those skater boys like landing on their crotch, and all their friends just laughing hysterically while the kid is like bleeding out.
Like the kid is not gonna have kids ever.
Right, and they think it's the best, and like are filming the kid as he's like crying and moaning, and they should be taking him to the hospital. That's the culture.
This is the culture that Jackass has wrought.
A little bit, yeah. All right, Joe. VPIP Joe, we're going to learn about. Are you VPIP Joe or are you Ski Lift Joe?
He's VPIP Joe.
He's VPIP Joe. He's playing it. Oh, it's Dolly Parton against Presto against 2 times for the ladies. Jack Deuce suited.
Good flop for 5s.
9-5 with the gutter.
Double gutter.
Double
actually.
gutter,
So
excuse
it's a
me.
Good flop for 9-5 as well.
My mistake. Really, that 8 comes in. It's going to be kind of hard to see. I guess 9-10 would come in too, but still.
What Sam should want is the 4 on the turn to get it all in and be free rolling.
Stuart's definitely betting this with his gutter and pair. Almost every card is bad, and when it isn't bad, it scares his opponents almost all the time, unless exactly a deuce comes, I guess. Sam cannot fold yet.
He could raise even if he wanted to.
He could. Stuart deciding to bet, though, is usually pretty strong. Will Stuart bet again? I'm going to guess no. What do you think?
I think not. And I think if Sam were to raise the flop, by the way, I think it's a multi-street plan. He's, hoping to get there, but also Stuart could have overpairs that would not feel comfortable with multiple streets after the check raise.
Let's see if Sam probably should be bluffing here, though. It's probably time to bluff.
If he bets, he's repping what?
8-9.
Ace 8-9.
8-9. There you go.
It's 100% 8-9.
8-9. He could have 7-10 also. He could have a bunch of sevens.
8-9 or 7-10. Maybe Queen 7 also. That's true. That all makes sense. Not flop 2 pairs, really.
Stuart's got a problem because he's blocking some of the things he'd want Sam to have in terms of gutters.
Yep.
So it's probably a good fold, even though Sam got away with one there.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
Sam really stole the pot there.
He did. Thievery.
Yep.
If people are going to buy at that price, he's never made any claims to be like.
No, he says what he
Super
is. I play
profitable.
5-10, no limit, whatever.
When you get two name hands like that up against each other, it's like you can find out who wants it more of the two hands, Dolly Parton or Presto, and that time it was Dolly Parton.
I mean, Presto has another name.
Pocket fives.
Speed limit.
Oh, yeah. What, isn't that 6-5 off the speed limit?
It depends on what state you're in, I
Well,
guess. In Oregon, it's 5-5.
yeah.
We drive slow here.
A lot of people from Oregon are watching this right now. A lot of people.
That's where the game is taking place.
Don't get in my face, bro.
The speed limit hand is based on where the game is taking place.
Oh, really? So in different states,
Yeah.
this different hand to speed
Yeah.
limit? Definitely
7-5 in Nevada.
not. VPIP Joe, are you? Who are you? You are VPIP Joe, king of the VPIPs.
He is the king.
He's playing the computer hand.
Yep.
He's up against the King 6 off, also known as our Lord and
look at
Savior.
this.
What a flop for wheel.
Our Lord and Savior. Wow. Yeah, wheel flops trips and Sam flops top pair. He's going to lose a little bit of money here.
Luckily, it checks through for wheel. Time to start betting.
You mean for Sam?
Yep. Sam is going to bet 20. Will's just going to call.
You okay?
Yep.
All right.
Joe's going to fold, and I assume Wheel's going to raise the river a lot, unless a king comes. I don't even. Is Sam even going to bet again?
I don't know if there's a ton of value in betting. A 5 might fold if Sam bets.
Sam is going to try and get value from like a small pair, it looks like. Maybe a 5 specifically. I assume he's betting very small here. We cannot see it, of course. Is it 40?
There was a green chip in there.
It sounded like 35.
35.
Time to raise.
Yeah, I think Wheel must raise here.
He is going to raise, but that, of course, is going to end the hand. Well, actually, Sam with a king.
Wheel's giving him the old look.
I mean, Sam knows he's got to be beat, right?
Yeah.
Like, Wheel's never raising to 75 with a worse hand than this.
6-8 got there, by the way, which Wheel might have called the turn with.
Yep.
Actually rolled for it, but somebody really wants a piece of it, so you're like, I don't really want to sell any of this 750 buying or whatever, but somebody's like, I'll pay you 2 to 1. You're like, personally.
Wheel shows the 4, and that's going to make it easier for Sam to fold.
Yeah, easy fold now.
Because what did he call the turn with that has a 4 in it that he can raise now?
Almost showed the 9.
Yeah. There's no hand in the world that has a 4 in it that isn't the 4 of hearts that he can call the turn with. That isn't a king or a 9, and the king is chopping, and he's not raising that anyway.
Yeah, he's not. If
So-
they show you a card that doesn't have anything to do with the board and there's trips that are possible,
Yeah.
and
Get out.
it's probably trips.
Yeah.
It's really probably trips.
Yeah. This is like
Like,
Jordan Peele's
they're
breakout
not saying
film.
Please call my bluff. I mean,
Right.
I guess they could.
No, they could double reverse it for sure, and it'd be super sick to do that. And
But
people
people-
are probably going to start doing that a little bit.
People don't do that very much, though. I
No.
wouldn't think.
No, I feel like almost never. Why would Wheel would be so afraid that it would look like he doesn't
Yeah.
have anything? He would never do it, right?
He also raised small. It was 35 to 75.
Yeah, he's begging for a call. Wonka staying with that $25 raise, 2.5 Xing
He's
it.
decided that's his sizing for this session for one reason or another.
All the big time players are doing that these days in the bigger games now. They're back down to 2.5 Xing pre.
Yeah, but by the time this comes out, maybe they'll be up to 5xing.
Yeah.
It changes all the time.
That's true. I mean, not that quickly, but sure. Joe with the 3 bet
I
with
like
King
it.
Queen.
I like it, except that he ran into Ace King. That part was a mistake. He shouldn't have done that.
Stuart now thinking about it. It's big slicks against Queen against these two suited, also known as the slalom,
Yeah,
because you can go down real fast with it.
sure. Looks like a raise from Stuart. 360, huh?
Well, Stuart's
260.
Still, that's going to be more than enough. I have to think.
This is going to end things here.
Shove it. Shove it. Shove it.
I don't think he's going.
You have blockers. Significant blockers, Joe.
I think Joe's going to fold.
The cold 4-bet is just pretty terrifying, even when you have a good hand, let alone this hand.
He's going to VPip that hand straight into
Whoa.
the muck.
Whoa.
Nah, he's
Oh,
second thoughts.
The old mulligan there for VPip Joe. And
That's a good buy look right there.
he's taking his
feels-
time.
Feels like a good buy look.
This is like on one shoulder VPip Joe, on the other shoulder ski lift Joe.
just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is
Oh.
that the Nitrogen Sports Poker Train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever all of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They
Perhaps
do.
because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Looks like coming out of the break, the players were like, I am so invigorated by that ad
Yes.
that I must do a bomb pot.
$25 everyone's going to put into the middle right now as an ante, basically, and everyone gets dealt a hand. We see the flop, and then the betting commences.
Yep.
So there's no pre-flop action at all. Everyone sees the flop. It changes a lot of stuff. We've done this before on the show, but it's been a while. I think the Matt Vaughn episodes were the last
No, we've
bomb
done
pots.
other bomb pots
Have
since
we?
then. Yeah.
Well, whatever. I'm not going to try and name all 8 hands. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, it's too much for me.
Zach has deuces. That's the only hand of any consequence.
Ace,
Stuart
ace
has
queen
ace
of clubs.
queen.
And Stuart looks like he flops best. It's a little hard to
He
tell.
does. He has 33% equity, as we can see.
Yeah, oh, yeah, there you
Wonka
go.
has the second most equity with a king.
So, but it looks like it's almost certainly gonna check through unless someone decides to get cute. No one does.
Stuart can feel decent about his hand now.
But there's so many cards to dodge.
That's
although-
kind of a bad card for Stuart.
But that said, he still does have the best hand.
He does.
34% equity, a salmon wheel hit middle pair.
Joseph has a flush. No, he doesn't. Nobody has a flush draw.
Nope.
I lied about that.
Is anyone gonna bet this time? Wheel's
Wheel-
thinking about it with
Wheel
his
has a
jack.
jack. He's gonna bet.
Did he bet 25?
Yep.
Oh no, he bet
No,
100.
bet 100. I don't
That
think
makes
Stuart
more
ca-
sense.
Stuart can't fold.
Sort of sucks with all these people behind you, but you cannot just throw it away.
Yeah,
That's-
that's a straight draw to go with it at least.
Yeah, I agree. He can't just fold. That's probably gonna knock out everybody else.
Wonka's thinking about it with his king.
But when Stuart calls, it's just there's so many potential issues. Zach's thinking about it with his deuces.
Maybe he's thinking about spiking a deuce on the river. And
I mean, that's the way
still
to do it.
not being good, maybe.
So
Yeah.
Stuart's got to be super happy that everyone folded behind him. And that turns out it's a safe card.
It is, but one pair in a bomb pot is never a comfortable place to be.
Let's see if Wheel decides to turn his hand into a bluff or if he tries to take a showdown value
See,
here.
Stuart checks super hard that time. Like,
Yeah.
don't bet.
Yeah, I do not want to see a bet of $400. $150 I can live with.
This is definitely a bluff.
You
if
better
Wheel
size
bets.
it up if you're going to bet, Wheel.
Oh,
250 is like just looks like a normal value-y bet.
This is a good bet. I like this size.
Stuart hates it. I mean, it's so hard to take on the whole table with one pair. Even top pair, good
All right, so
kicker.
Wheel's saying he has something like Jack 6, King Jack, or Ace Jack,
Queen 10.
or Queen 10. Yeah,
It turns out he can have Jack 9 because he has Jack 4.
yeah. Turns out he can. I wouldn't be thinking about that as Stuart though. I'd be thinking about a turn 2 pair more.
Stuart's got to think about this one. He's getting 2.6 to 1 or so on a call.
I don't know what to do. I don't play enough bomb pots to know what to do here with Ace Queen.
I don't know if anyone knows what to do here.
I think Wonka does.
Wonka, well, he would act like it. I don't know what you're supposed to do when Wheel bets again. It sort of sucks either way. We do have a blocker to the nut. Should we consider raising?
No,
Is maybe that a cool move?
no.
Because he can just have Queen 10
Yeah.
too easily.
And
The
Wheel,
whole table
and Wheel
saw it.
might not really understand the nature of the bomb pot as well as you hope and call with
Yes.
King Jack. You know.
That would be a real problem.
Show me this one.
I'll sell you this last time card.
Oh. I don't think it's gonna get that. It's definitely not gonna get that extreme.
Wheel looks happy and comfortable.
Maybe laughing a bit too much now, but still doing a pretty good job, seeming
Yeah.
comfortable.
Although right now he looks like he's going to kill someone.
Oh,
inside.
Stuart makes the call. Wheel's gonna hate that.
Ah, good call.
Wheel with the super slow turnover. That's good. It's always good when they turn it over slowly like that after you call. You always have them. They're never good. Stuart gets the W, and Wheel keeps on going down the death slide.
The old death slide.
Which is, of course, also, as we know, the 7-5 suited, the death slide. But in this case, I mean it more literally. The metaphorical death slide that he's going down.
You mean it literally like Wheel is going to die?
On a slide. Yes. A slide literally built for killing people. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Will. If you didn't know that already, I apologize.
That's
but
too bad.
Here's a tip. Avoid going down slides for a while, maybe forever, since that's how you're going to die. Just a good thought, right?
You were quite confident.
You can basically be immortal.
If I knew I was going to die on a slide, I would definitely not go on slides.
I mean, I would avoid playgrounds pretty intensely.
But then somebody would kidnap you, and you'd feel yourself being put on a slide, and you're like, oh, I guess this is how it
happens.
Yeah.
But like when someone like has a gun to you and you're anywhere else but on a slide, you're like, whatever, man.
I can karate kick this guy.
Do your best. Joe limps with the big slick. All right, VPIP Joe. I like that he's going to limp with a strong hand here.
Planning on 3-betting if he gets raised.
I sure hope so. I expect
Stuart's probably going to raise.
He should raise, and I would hope Joe re-raises here.
But I'd rather make
Raise
8-3
to
than a flush.
65.
You know?
Fold.
Looks like a call. There it is.
No,
there's the
reaching
100
for
chips.
The $100 chip.
Nice one, Joe. That's a big raise.
Is it 260?
265, 200 more on top of Stuart's raise.
I kind of like that sizing.
It's a little big.
He's out of position.
Yeah. Stuart is in a torture chamber.
Stuart's probably just going to have to find a fold here.
Yeah.
Stuart, he got you that time.
Good fold. I owed you that one, but it was a good fold. Yes, I overplayed him a little bit. Know what you're thinking.
No, not really. That's fine.
That's what it is?
I like that Joe mixed it up there because he's known to limp a lot. So
yeah,
be able to mix that in there.
He definitely is known to limp a fair amount.
Yeah.
But I like the 3-bet. Zach has been like limped with ace queen and just called the raise. And I like if you're going to limp and they're going to be isolating you a lot, punishing them for that at least.
I do used to live in Germany too.
Although Stuart hadn't been the one isolating. I guess he did once before with kings, which isn't really an isolation move. It's more of a I have kings move. I don't think that anybody saw that, though.
No. I mean, we saw it.
Yeah.
And the viewers saw it. So most people saw it. Thousands of people saw it.
Okay. Joe
Just
didn't see it.
7 people didn't see it.
Joe didn't see it.
Yeah. But still, I feel you. King 9, that's called the sawmill. Actually, that is its nickname, by the way.
Okay.
I believe. I think it's King 9 is the sawmill, not King 10. You know why it's called that?
Because of all of the dust.
No, but good try. It actually was called the sawmill because they said if you play that hand too much, you're going to end up working in the sawmill. This is back when they were sawmills.
Yeah. All right, top 2 for Joseph here.
And a double gutter for Wonka, a weird double gutter.
It's a weird double gutter. When you have deuce 8 and you have a double gutter, it's a weird life.
And now it's top pair and a flush draw for Wonka.
And it's a horrible turn card for Joseph.
Yep.
Horrible. He's going to bet
Joseph
it.
has bet some amount. Wonka is in a weird spot here also. By the way, Zach now has overs and a gut shot.
Yeah, but
it's only $20.
Yeah, I think it's probably right to fold anyway.
I don't disagree, but when the 7 comes in, you usually get paid because it's there's a straight on the board.
But Joseph could have a flush. He could be drawing dead.
Joseph could have a flush, but you know what? He didn't.
You make a good analysis-related point.
Yep. I think so too. Hey, by the way, if you somehow didn't see last episode, not only do we come up with a lot of fun names for hands, we also get into the ins and outs of hand modeling. And it's really, and we talk about who at the table we think really would make the best hand models. And I got to tell you, it's kind of must-see TV. So
you haven't even watched it. How would you know?
I was there when we recorded it, and I know that is some good stuff. Definitely check that out. If you don't think we're funny, avoid it. But if you enjoy our humor, that is top flight stuff, top shelf. Sam's opening with, well, this is an easy one. The ladies.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just thought of a good nickname for King Queen of Diamonds. The Red Wedding. That's great.
Whoa.
That's really good. Here's we go with the slalom and start with Big Slick.
There you go.
I'm loving this. Stuart's going to look to punish once again.
Not going to work this time. I think Sam will probably just call.
I think so too.
Joseph looking confused for one reason or another.
Wonka looking confused, but we know why. He's Wonka. I like boots and wearing boots. My name is Wonka. That's what's going on.
That's not even an impression. That's how accurate that is.
That was a recording we
Yeah.
just played. So Wheel, the slalom is such a temptress.
You would think you would say that about the ladies, but
See, look at that. Samantha had him folding, but it turns out he called.
Yeah.
I know, Samantha. We understand. We get it. He's got 830 back. This is a serious stack to pot issue for him.
great flop for queens here.
Yep.
Sam's feeling pretty safe.
Pretty safe, but, if Stuart bets 3 times, he's going to be in a world of sadness.
Stuart does have the backdoor nut flush draw, which is a great reason to bet here.
I would expect Stuart is going to bet. Yep. He's got
Rep
all the overpairs.
Sometimes just win with this bet. Obviously not this time.
But as we know, there are good turn cards for Stuart that do not include an ace or a king. Any spade is a good card.
Not here. Just behind. Yeah, there you go.
Sam has to call, thinks he's good a lot, and that is just a terrible card for Sam. and he
Sam
knows
does
it.
not enjoy that card.
This is the old, well, if I was ahead, I'm usually not now. Stuart can have jacks, Stuart can have tens.
And unless Stuart's way out of line, but I don't expect him to be showing up with king jack and stuff like that here too often.
Not very often. I agree. Having the queens makes it much harder for him to have a bunch of the other Broadway type hands. Stuart checks it back, really trying to get value from a hand just like queens.
Backdoor clubs come in. That shouldn't be a factor too often.
Will Stuart be able to get a street of value here on the river?
I think he's got to bet
Yes.
somewhat small.
$275?
I don't know if that's too small. It looks too value-y.
I mean, what are you thinking then? 330?
350, something like that, yeah.
330 isn't bad. I'd be really worried even at 330. Like, are Jacks going to bet $330 here? I'd be really concerned about it.
Yeah, Sam
Wow,
just
5 is too much.
quickly gets away from it. He's hoping that Sam has, I guess he has to have like ace queen, which is hard for him to have because Stuart has the ace of spades in
Yeah,
his hand.
exactly. No, he's hoping to get heroed by kings or by, and really queens because he blocks kings, right?
Yep, that was the plan. Sam had no interest in even considering heroing there.
That was an easy fold for him. It seems. That was cool. All 3 hands were already named when we played that one. I like
I
that.
can't believe it.
The slalom, once again, letting people down. See? That's why it's called the slalom. Because it lets people down. It
Okay.
should be called like the, I don't know, the stairway or something.
It could be called anything because
the parent.
you made it up.
The parent because it lets you down.
This time Wheels got the
Hey.
queens.
The boyfriend.
He's only got 830 in his stack. Stuart with ace 10 probably gonna play.
Oh, really? It's a little surprised. Think of Stewie Younger as being a little tighter. Look at Joseph.
Joseph,
The 6-2 off. Does he possibly have crazy thoughts?
He does sometimes. We've seen him do crazy things.
How about that? This would be really interesting if he suddenly puts in a big 3-bet. Obviously not going to work against
No,
queens, and
with-
who are 800 back.
Yeah, with Wheels stack, he's just gonna put the rest in.
Well, heads up. I just wanted to know your stack.
And
He decides against it, probably because of the stack.
whoa!
How many queens are in this deck?
So far, we're aware of 4 of them.
Those are all different suits, right? We're good?
Yep, we
We're
are good.
Okay.
Well, we don't know what the blinds have, but usually this hand is going to go a very particular way and pretty straightforward, right?
Maybe they have king, queen, and queen, jack.
Well, Zach has his Jack 3 off, and Joe doesn't have a huge hand. But he is VPIP Joe.
He is.
It's only 135
he
to
doesn't
call.
usually VPIP in this way.
No, he does not. And I got to believe Zach is just going, or not Zach, excuse me, Wheel is just going to bring the pain. He goes
Yep,
all in.
There it is. Stuart,
I expect we're going to see a quick side call from Wonka.
he's getting a count, which is smart if he doesn't have a real good sense of... Yeah, he's not liking it. Wonka's making the type of face Stuart makes when he doesn't like it.
Yeah. There's no chance he's really going to fold queens here, though, right?
It doesn't seem likely.
There's just no way. Queens is too good for this much when you've already put in this much money.
I would rather you be some other people.
Ah. Thinks Wheel's going to be tight here. I mean, he is calling just a chop.
Well,
But-
he doesn't know that.
Of course.
Wheel could have jacks, maybe tens.
I think he could. I think he certainly can have ace king.
Like looking around the table, thinking of some options.
You started with me.
You'd be one.
I take that personally.
Wonka saying he was wishing he could switch somebody else out, put them in wheel spot. He thinks other people would be looser.
I don't imagine Wonka's going to end up finding a fold here. This hand is just way too good. He has way too many other hands he's 3-betting with.
This is a bit of a nit roll at this
Yeah,
point.
I agree.
Wheel probably feeling pretty comfortable about his
Wheel's
hand.
got to think he's up against like 2 tens or ace queen or something.
Oh, there he goes. He calls.
Wait for the reaction.
Oh, that's a nice hand.
There you go. I mean, you're like.
Everyone's super annoyed at Wonka.
Yeah.
This is how I feel all the time, everyone. This is what it's like.
Come on. Give the guy a break.
All right, that's going to mean there's no chance for
Stuart
anyone.
flop top 2. Does that
Stuart is sad now.
Does that excite people? When Stuart would have flopped top 2?
Stuart wouldn't have gotten a whole lot of money out of it, though.
If he called wheel shove, he would have.
That's true. That's true.
Close.
Nice hand.
All right, so we know who's winning getting in with queens. We know that now. 25% of the table. At a minimum.
At a minimum.
I'll take the over.
I too would have put it in. Much quicker than Nick did, for what it's worth.
Much quicker as the caller?
Well, stack sizes
Absolutely.
have something to do with it, too.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh.
I mean, if Wheel has 1,400, it's a little different,
Definitely.
but he did not.
Lock the cameras. Cameras have to stay on.
On or off
We
camera?
play till Jeremy leaves.
The cameras are extra. On or off?
Fair.
He's added a little bit to his stack with that chop there. Exciting times.
Yeah, a little bit. Stuart's call and the blinds money.
Stuart with 5s again. This guy gets 5s as much as his people who get hands twice. So he's had them twice. It's got 2 names also. Speed limit. And what was the other one?
Presto. That's
Presto.
the real name.
Why is it called Presto?
Because it's like a magic trick.
I think you're going to need to explain yourself a little bit there.
It's like, okay, a magic trick is like an illusion that a magician does.
Yeah.
Usually in front of an audience. Although unless they're practicing, it might be in front of a mirror or just.
Hey, Sam has
Himself.
ace king here.
Hey, big slick. Joe, of course, with the Queen 9, also known as Your Royal Highness.
Yeah, sure.
For the Queen.
And then 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuart's trying to figure out if he's deep enough to set mine here.
The
Sam
answer
with-
is Sam only has 1.5K back. He's just barely deep enough. He is, though.
just barely.
Also, with the prospect that Joe might come in, makes it a little bit better, too. Although that isn't going to happen. Stuart gets to be in position, which is a little bit nicer.
Sam has the unfun prospect of being out of position with ace king and a 3-bet pot.
Well, at least he has the initiative.
Yep.
Going to get to win sometimes. And there's a board that
That's
he's going to
such
feel good about.
such a happy board when you have ace king and you get called a large bet, especially pre-flop.
Look at Stuart just staring at Sam.
I mean, he's so close to the board, you know? Almost hit it.
Yep. Boy. If only he had pocket sixes, Stuart.
You only win the pot.
Huh?
Which way?
Like if he were going to get a massage.
Yeah,
he wouldn't
backwards.
be getting a massage.
Yeah, but he wouldn't.
And then he'd have his knees on the
I
chair.
didn't ever.
With his,
No, I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Stuart's been having a little rough go of it this episode so far.
He really has. He's been getting beat up. He's got to stop playing pocket fives, maybe. Maybe that'll help.
It could help.
Throw the hand away.
Okay.
Put it in the garbage.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean when I say throw it away.
Yeah.
It's weird you didn't know what a magic trick was. That is super weird to me. We both grew up in the same, the relative culture, and I feel like that's everywhere in the world. Like, everyone knows what a magic trick is.
What do
Have
you-
you ever heard of, like, David Blaine? You know that he does magic. That's a magician.
You're a frustrating person.
Joseph with vodka fours, also known as
Sailboats.
midlife crisis.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like that's an actual name for it, but I'm not sure.
Sailboats is an actual name.
Yeah,
for it.
Sailboats is midlife crisis. Is that? It might be. I'm not sure. Anyway, midlife crisis is good. Queen 10 is, of course, the hottest queen because she's a 10.
So it's hot queen.
Hot queen. Or the hottest queen. Good flop for Zach.
That was good.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Zach usually bets his top pairs.
VPip Joe, of course. VPipping to the extent where we're not really making note of his VPip.
That's right. It's not even. We're back to like.
Oh yeah,
all it took was one episode.
He has King 5 off when he called a raise. Whatever.
Sure, why not?
11, 12.
That's fine. I just couldn't see. I only saw the few greens. And
Joseph considering if Zach could be messing around here.
And then maybe if he lets himself think about it, the answer is absolutely not.
Yeah, Zach has hot queen all day there.
Hot queen.
Does that make King 10 hot Carl?
Oh, I sure hope so.
That's
Is that Jack 10 though? Maybe Jack 10's hot Carl.
maybe
Because how is the king named Carl? But
K,
Jack could
Carl
be.
with a K.
Oh, okay, hot Carl. It is. I'm sure everyone knows the story behind hot Carl.
No,
right?
let's not get into
It's
that.
a good story, but okay. You have to look that one up on like Wikipedia. Why is it called a hot Carl?
let's
And then not just what it is, because what it is a little disgusting.
Yeah.
But the story, assuming the story is true, I've just heard it from a friend. It's a great story. And all I'm going to say is the punchline, which doesn't give anything away, which is, it's hot, Carl!
Step one, learn the hand ring.
After the thing landed on the guy's chest.
Okay,
The thing landed on the guy's chest.
Okay, that's enough.
That's all I'm saying.
It's a family
I
program.
think it was Chuck Berry. Anyway,
Yeah.
could just be a urban legend. But Sam with Ace King, he's going to get to isolate the 8-3 off of VPip Joe.
VPip Joe is
Wow.
bananas off the rails.
He is back in black. 8-3 off is so bad, we don't have a name for it.
I mean, you can't. Don't justify the limp with a name.
Stuart throws away the 9 deuce off. A better hand than Joe's
And
going
Joe
to.
just folds.
Oh, okay.
Man,
VPip
what a-
Joe.
You say this often on Poker Time when we get deeper in a session when somebody who plays a lot of hands starts off tighter and then ends up looser. Joe is the ultimate example of being stuck to his true nature.
Yeah.
You know, like we saw him in the first episode, like really kind of mellowing out. And then you see him limp 8-3 off. It's just like, it's time.
We see that with a bunch of players, though. We see it with Terminator is a good example, too. Although
Yeah.
Terminator's changed the way he plays
He
also.
has.
But you can watch him from beginning of a session to the end of a session loosen up for sure. Almost always. And that's just true for a bunch of guys, I think.
Yeah.
You know, the plans only last so long.
And instead of the 7 deuce game, they were playing the Jack 6.
It is weird to think that just playing poker, your true nature would come out, but it is the case. You can't really.
It might not be true for everybody.
Submerge it.
Some people might have learned enough discipline to make their true nature submit to the discipline.
Maybe you're right.
Like 3/4 of a buy-in.
Well, VPip Joe continuing to VPip, and Sam continuing to raise VPip Joe.
He's getting good hands, Sam is.
Yep. Dolly Parton against 20.
20. Just call it 20.
20. Yeah, okay, you know what? 20.
That's a pretty good name for it, actually.
Oh, binary is pretty good, too, because it's ones and zeros.
Yeah.
What's worse, Jack 6 and short deck or 7?
Jeremy with ace jack suited, not going to fold.
No way.
All the equities in short deck run way closer.
Ace jack suited, of course, is called the clam bake.
Of course. I mean, that's...
I'm not going to explain that one.
You know that. I mean, everyone knows why it's called a clam bake. All red, by the way, for everyone. All red. Somehow, Sam continues to hold on here.
He
with
does
the
have
tens.
to dodge the gut shot from Joe, which he's going to lead with.
Well, that's interesting.
It is an interesting play.
Sam probably not going to fold to Joe right away. Joe is. We've seen Joe definitely putting a lot of chips in with a very wide range of hands.
I wouldn't
on
be putting him on
flops.
9-5. I'd be putting him
Nope.
on like a spade draw, maybe
Yeah.
7-9.
Yep. 9-10 is a double gutter.
Yep. Diamond comes on the turn, not going to help anybody.
Let's see if Joe decides to continue his story or give up.
It's going to be tough for Sam to keep calling if Joe keeps betting.
Yep. Joe is giving up, though. Will Sam charge him or go for the bluff catch? There's enough bad cards. I kind of like betting here. Charge the spades.
Yeah, you'd think if Joe had a set, he would keep betting.
Yep. If he had a queen, he'd probably keep betting, too.
Yep.
We're probably not going to put any money in on the river if we bet the turn and we get called.
Would have been
With Sam.
interesting to see what happened if Joe kept betting there.
Yeah. I think Sam would probably use sizing as a way to make some decisions.
Yeah.
Not sure.
The one in Reno is super fun.
But I mean,
There's a couple people here that
I think we might have talked about it.
These guys are some chatty Cathys today, huh? This corner especially.
Jeremy and Joseph, they have poker buddy chemistry. You know, they just keep chatting away.
Yeah. Wonka looks super annoyed at both of them, though.
Well, it's because he's not being included in their conversations. Just look at the body language. Joseph is like, "You're not part of this, buddy."
Yeah. No, I know you want to hear this, and I know you can. I know you have things to add.
And maybe
but
you haven't heard the couple times Wonka's tried to get in the conversation by like adding a joke, but it ends up real just landing flat and awkward.
They just sort of quietly stare at him
you know
and
how
then
that goes.
look at each other and get back to their talking.
I've been that guy before.
It's Big Chick for Joe.
I'm sure they'll rake it a lot too.
That's an actual name. I've heard
Yeah.
that before.
Yeah, you didn't come up with that.
No, that's a good one. Big Chick. And Cowboys for Stuart. Stuart's had a lot of hands. Is he gonna? Oh, he's just gonna flat this time. Look at him mix it up a little bit.
Mix it. Sir Mix a lot.
That's gonna bring
Jeremy's
Jeremy
making a
in.
loose call.
Joseph's certainly gonna not fold.
Yep.
This is not really what Stuart was hoping
See how-
for,
see how
assuming Joseph comes along.
Joseph's left arm is placed. He's like, this is
Yeah.
the barrier. This is the barrier between you
Whoa.
and this conversation.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Joseph is putting in the 3-bet.
Oh,
the squeeze.
all right. This is working out great.
Wow,
for Stuart.
Joe's probably not gonna. Oh, maybe for 300, Joe is
This
gonna
is a
fold.
huge squeeze.
Well, it's really not gonna work out. So Stuart,
Look at the size of this bet.
what an incredible thing for Stuart. A 3-bet would have just taken down a small pot, almost certainly. I guess Joe could have called a 3-bet.
Instead, Joseph puts in 300, which is more than he needs to.
Yes, he's trying to really push everyone around. Now 300 probably is gonna get Ace Queen to fold, so it's gonna end up being kind of a. Assuming that works, it's going to end up being a pretty
Yeah.
amazing thing. Boy, if how sad is Joe going to be if he calls and then Stuart puts in a big 4-bet, which is what I have to
man,
imagine
it's
would
gonna
happen.
be super sad.
Oh, he's going to be so upset. But he gets away from it. Well, you ended up. Wow, that's really something. Wow.
Stuart's probably just going to give the bad news now.
I would expect he is. Although it's such a big raise, he doesn't really have to worry about Jeremy calling.
Yeah, I mean, he is in position and will have isolated one opponent. So I guess if he wants to play it that way, that's fine too. And it looks like that is what he's
He
gonna do.
is.
He's just gonna call.
Wow. Stuart really telling a very particular story here. It looks like what, 2 10s, Ace Queen suited.
Nines.
Yep.
Yeah, all those hands.
If you're Joseph, you don't put him on 9s as much. Maybe 8s, but probably not even 8s. It's got to be stronger than that.
Oh my goodness!
What an insane.
This is a crazy flop.
Joe might be freaking out because he had Ace Queen, by the way.
Oh,
Joe-
and Joseph
oh!
just moves in.
Whoa. I don't think you can fold as Stuart.
And Stuart says call, I think.
Yeah,
pretty
good for
quickly.
him. Wow.
That is an enormous shove.
I thought you said yes.
Joseph.
I thought you were flattening.
There was $700 in that pot.
Really, it was
I thought
so
it was
sick.
thought it was strong too.
No, I did. And then when he called, I was like, fuck, he really is. Hopefully it's jacks.
Good luck.
He did not have to shove with. He had top pair. He had showdown value.
And
And
he-
oh wow, Joe would have won. Joe would have beaten
Oh, he
everybody.
would've.
And Joe got into that flop. He may have never folded.
Wow.
Wow.
What an incredibly huge pot for Stuart. 5.7K,
Whoa.
one of the biggest pots in Poker Time history.
It is. It absolutely is. Holy Magolies! It didn't have to go like that.
I mean, it could have gone so many different ways.
If Joseph just calls, we're gonna see a lot of action on the flop, right? Because we're gonna have top against an overpair against pair and flush draw.
If Joseph just calls, Stuart might be folding on the turn.
Yeah, or even the flop, depending on how crazy it gets. Because
Yeah.
Joseph may put in a big raise, and then if Joe doesn't fold,
Yeah.
Stuart might get out.
Yeah.
Because now he's worried about Joe having queens.
Right. Instead,
Wow.
this worked out exactly perfectly for Stuart.
Stuart took a chance. You know, there's some flops. Ace high flops are going to be really rough for him.
I mean, that flop was kind of rough.
Yeah,
he could
that's
have
true.
lost pretty easily.
he
there.
lost huge amounts of equity there, but holy moly. And Joseph shoves,
2.4K effective into 700.
yeah, 750 maybe.
That's a large shove.
3 point something times the pot on the flop with top pair. That's the thing that's so nuts about it.
Yeah.
He didn't need to shove because he had top pair. You know, it isn't like he just had draws.
I don't know if you ever really need to shove that
Yeah, that's true.
percentage of the pot.
I agree. It's like, is he hoping to, like, I'd be concerned that Stuart would play almost perfectly against him in that spot. You know what I mean? What are you hoping to fold out that's better than you?
Yeah.
Well, king snapped. That means ace queen is calling, I think, if ace queen's in there.
Man, Stuart is so happy to have won that pot. Once he saw what Joseph turned over, he's like, oh, I could
Yeah.
really lose this pot. Yeah. Joseph must be a little shell-shocked right now.
Yeah.
Stuart probably too.
You know, if Joseph actually bets a normal amount on the flop and a normal amount on the turn and shoves the river when the ace comes, he wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that's
That
knowing
might not be
we
what
know
hap-
everything.
That
with
might not be what happens, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Stuart could raise at some point.
But yeah, that could have gone a lot of different ways if Joseph didn't choose to didn't choose such big 3-bet sizing, and then
Yes.
didn't choose such big flop sizing.
By the way, Joseph may also not feel the need to bluff as much as I'm talking about like on the ace river when he has a queen in his hand, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like really like using perfect information here. Now there's a huge stack of black chips.
So
just sitting in
somebody
there.
sold Joseph some
Oh,
chips.
okay, that makes more sense.
So I'm adding 15.
Adding 15.
Zach's gonna be under the gun, and we know what he does. He's gonna call
You had 6-5 suited. Is that
6-5 of hearts.
6-5 of hearts? Yeah.
That's the Valentine surprise.
The Valentine surprise that you don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
The surprise is that oh no, they
It's
have a bigger
related-
flush.
It's related to King 10.
What?
I mean, you're gonna have to go back about 5 minutes in your memory and figure out what I mean by that.
The hot Carl. Oh my God, I get it. Joe raises with 9-8 off. Wow. Joe's like, I'm going to isolate the limper, and I'm VPip Joe, so I've got a wider range. Joseph calls from the small blind with 9-5 suited, and just everything's off the rails.
I mean, Joseph has lost a lot of money just now, and he might be a little tilted.
Might be feeling a little gambly. Well, he better not hit a 9 without getting some help.
I thought he wanted to raise you, and then I was like, well, shit.
I did too.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I folded the flop, or folded.
Sitting in a deep cash game feels so comfortable in a spot like Stuart's now where you've just won this massive pot and
And
you're just like, I feel good.
Also, you just flopped a set 4 ways.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty good, too.
Except you're not going to get any action.
Probably not, but still, you're like, oh, well, you get a little action
Yeah,
because Joe
Joe's
bets.
going to bet. He does have a gut shot.
So, Stewie Younger, the kid.
Probably just going to raise and take it down here. No, he
He
just
just-
calls.
He's really trying to let people in. A 10 would be a disaster,
It would be.
but that's it. Whatever, he's just never going to fold.
Probably not.
Not yet.
That's a good card.
It's a great card.
Joe giving up, or is Joe going to continue? He's giving up.
Stuart should probably bet now.
Yep, I think so.
Although Joe did look like he was giving up, and maybe there was just some truth in that. You know, he's not angling.
It's easy to see that when we know what the cards are, though.
True.
Stuart just bets half pot, and it's over right away.
And he's
Stuart's got to try and win a big pot here.
feeling
also.
good.
Not to like check to win a small, but win one more bet.
Yeah.
He should be trying to get 3 streets. So I like that he bet. Yeah, feeling quite good. Some days things just really work out. Now Stuart played the kings very unusually
Yes.
and a little high risk.
Yeah.
But this
But
time
now
the variance
he's-
came in the good way
Now he's feeling good. I'm going to start calling him Kramer.
because he's feeling good all the
Yeah.
time.
Here's to feeling good all the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, another Kramer quote is, "There's my boys are out there, but I'm loving every minute of it."
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, of course you do. That was a very funny moment. Kramer, you know, good times.
Funny character.
Nice, nice. Joe, throw it away. You're under the gun. Throw it away, Joe.
I mean, what
no.
makes-
All
Oh my-
right.
What in the world makes you think he would throw that away, and why did he throw it away compared to all the other things that he decided to limp? He limped 8-3 offsuit.
He was in the cutoff.
It
at
doesn't
least.
matter.
Well,
It's so much better to limp ace-3 off under the gun than 8-3 off in the cutoff.
well, you know he's still working it out. Here's Wonka. He really has not flown the flag very well for Belgium so far,
No.
but maybe things will turn around for him and his cohorts. Maybe Joseph and Jeremy will let him in the conversation.
I don't
Let
think
him
so.
get a word in edgewise.
I don't think so. He'll try again in about 15 minutes. He's like, all right, maybe these guys have opened up. I'm going to make a little joke and be like, hey, Joseph, how about this? And Joseph just stare at him like, are you talking to me?
He's gonna like, you guys see that new Spider-Man movie? Did you like it?
And
Is
then
that
Joseph
good?
will kind of look at him and then just go right back to his conversation with Jeremy kind of quietly. He's like, yeah, can you believe this guy? He's still trying.
You know, I think there's a
Life of
reason.
Wonka.
Yeah. It's not true. Everybody likes Wonka.
It's true. The world likes Wonka.
Except for Brendan Cantu.
Oh, is that true?
Well, I remember one time Wonka
Oh,
tried
yeah.
to make a joke when Cantu was on the stream, and it just fell super flat.
Wonka
in the
was
way
sort
that
of-
we're describing.
Wonka was sort of trolling Cantu,
Yeah,
though.
he
And
was.
Cantu just, stared daggers at him. But that was fair. Wonka, this is kind of a primo 3-bet spot, especially against the perhaps tilty, perhaps extra wideness of Joseph. But
But maybe he thinks because he's tilty, it's not a good time to 3-bet him. Like Joseph's not folding, and he
Oh.
might even be 4-betting.
Fold, fold.
Every time I don't want you to raise,
Maybe.
you raise. Every time I want you to raise, you don't. I mean, it's so sick. Like, how do you know?
like Joseph's just lying about his hand.
Yeah.
now.
He does that a lot.
That's what you do at the poker table, though. I do that a lot too.
Joseph does it an especially large amount compared to others.
You know what my new thing when people ask me what I had and stuff, I say, I'm not going to tell you, and you just think I was lying anyway, and I probably would be, and then they look at me with sad eyes and say something worldly.
You don't do the thing that
deep.
everybody else does where you have like Jack 9 suited and it would be completely reasonable to have Jack 9 suited, but you say Jack 10 suited anyway?
No, I do not do that.
Yeah, because everybody does that.
I don't know why people make their hands slightly
Do you know what I
better.
mean?
Of course. No,
Yeah.
we've seen that on this show many times.
It's so
too.
weird, especially when it's a hand that's like, it's not embarrassing to have the one that you actually had. It's
Or
normal.
it is, and you just make it one pip better
Yeah.
anyway. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
No, either I outright lie or I outright tell the truth. It's like far away from the hand that I had or exactly the hand that I had usually. Stuart +1 with the Queen 9 suited. I guess he's decided to become VPIP Stuart. What with the whole, I've got $6,000 in front of me.
He's Kramer.
All right, because he's feeling good all the time.
Yeah.
Now he's flopped a gutter and a back door.
This is the type of flop that if you're going to open +1 with Queen 9, you're definitely going to continue with.
By the way, Joseph probably is a little tilty. He called the +1 raise with 7-5 off in the hijack,
Yeah,
and then folds when he hits a pair. I mean, I don't know what we're hoping for then. I
Well,
understand
there's-
that board is not great, but come on.
There's another factor here that is, it's kind of a tournament style factor in that like poker time only comes together so frequently, and
Yeah.
Joseph doesn't get to play these stakes as often as he might like, and he might be thinking like, well, maybe I should just play more hands now that didn't go so well, and like I'm trying to win it back before this session ends.
Right, because there may not be another 5-10 game for a
Yeah.
week or 2 weeks or whatever
Yeah.
next time we do this show.
Which I don't think is necessarily the best thought process, but
No.
it's a little bit more reasonable than when you consider like spots where there's a continuous 5-10 game at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea.
That's the deal.
For at least a year.
Yeah.
Beer's
if
gonna
you
get
never had a
big.
reason to root for Portland this year, now you got a reason.
Dad, why do you look so weird?
Stuart with the 7-5, probably not going to play this one unless he truly has become VPIP Stuart, but no.
Jeremy wants to, and he's going to play
Slightly loose open.
Queen Jack off, also called incest.
Okay.
Brother and sister together.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Zach's got a real hand.
All right, let's raise it up. No! We have to have some pre-flop aggression sometime. We've had zero pre-flop aggression from Zach. Literally zero.
Zach disagrees with you. Yeah, I think if we put the PFR stats up there, which I don't know if we're going to get, but
We will at some point.
if we did, I think we would see 0% for Zach. PFR, of course, being pre-flop raise.
Yeah.
And that's a great flop for Jeremy, as Joseph flops
Yeah.
second best hand and is on tilt.
Yes.
So-
both those things.
So that's great. Jeremy.
Great opportunity
wise.
to get. And both jacks check to Zach.
And Zach's going to bet now.
This is weird stuff.
Just protecting his equity, I guess.
He's betting half pot. There's no way Jeremy's folding. We know that. And what is Joseph going to do? Here's the call.
Joseph's going to call.
Oh, you're not
Right?
the Blazers game.
I'm wondering if Joseph's going to put in a race.
Oh, I
Game
heard.
7.
No, he's going to call.
No, looks like a call. Seems reasonable.
Oh, yeah, no, I think that's the most reasonable, but Joseph's been doing some non-traditional things lately. Could have gone for the equity denial raise there. Wouldn't have been probably a good time, but
There's the 7, which is a slightly scary card, but not bad.
not too bad.
I don't think Zach can keep betting.
Zach doesn't. Zach's going to try and realize his equity and realize that he
Ooh,
does.
How?
Well, he has 0%. He realized it.
Yep. Well, Joseph looks like he's going to turn his hand into a bluff here because
Why?
there is a 4 straight on the board.
I think he's. You think he's bluffing?
To get called by what? What's he value betting to get called by?
It's hard to come up with something, I will admit.
This is the last hand, by the way. I hear from Samantha, who's been doing an excellent job
Yeah,
still.
Samantha, you've done great. We haven't fired you yet, and you're already halfway through this session. It's pretty good. That's close to a record, if not a record.
This is a strange spot for Jeremy. Joseph could have a 2-pair hand easily.
Joseph might be worried that between Zach and Jeremy, someone's beating him, like you're saying, and so he's bluffing, even though he's got.
I don't think he's trying to get called by 10s or 9s because that's the only hands that conceivably could call him that are worse, right?
Yeah.
So it does seem like a bluff.
But he's really just repping kind of.
He's repping
a 5
or
right?
2-pair. He could have 2-pair.
I guess he could have 2-pair. Which two? I guess he can have 7-8.
He could have 7-8. He could have 6-7.
He usually would. Oh yeah, I know he can have 6-7. You're right. Or a 5. There are not too many 5s. There's 6-5 suited, 4-5 suited,
7-5 suited.
maybe 7-5 suited.
Those all make sense.
Yep. But that's it.
But that's a decent amount.
Yeah. Jeremy might have to find a fold here.
He does, yeah. And that worked out great for Joseph.
Even that mixture of feelings of
Yeah,
like,
2 10s. He was. Joseph, you have a 10.
Yeah, you guess 9s when you have a 10.
Yeah.
That's the move. Anyway, that's that episode.
That was fun.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the next one.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to name things. We're going to name people. It's going to be.